Let me tell you a story about two friends, Leo and Ethan. They grew up in the same small town, went to the same school, and even got their first jobs at the same local factory. They both dreamed of a better life, a life of freedom and abundance, but their approaches were completely different. Ethan was a hard worker, no doubt. He'd say, "Leo, if I just work more hours, take every overtime shift, and save every penny, one day I'll be rich." He saw money as something you had to physically wrestle from the world. He'd spend his evenings scrolling through pictures of fancy cars and mansions, sighing, "If only I had that, I'd be happy." His thoughts were always on what he lacked. He was constantly worried about bills, complaining about taxes, and seeing every expense as a loss. His mindset was one of scarcity. He believed the pie was small, and he had to fight for his tiny slice. Leo, on the other hand, worked just as hard, but he spent his free time differently. Instead of just dreaming, he started learning. He devoured books on finance, investing, and business. He started listening to podcasts from successful entrepreneurs. His favorite saying was, "Ethan, wealth isn't just in the wallet, it starts between the ears." Leo didn't see the world as a place of scarcity. He saw it as a world of opportunity. When he looked at a successful business, he didn't feel envy. He felt curiosity. He'd ask, "How did they do that? What problem did they solve? What can I learn from them?" While Ethan was pinching pennies, terrified of spending a single dollar, Leo started a tiny side business. He used his evenings to learn basic website design. It wasn't much at first, just a few small projects for local businesses. He made mistakes, plenty of them. One time, a website he built crashed right before a client's big launch. It was a disaster. Ethan told him, "See? I told you it was too risky. Just stick to the factory job. It's safe." But Leo didn't see it as a failure. He saw it as a lesson. He stayed up for 2 straight days, fixed the problem, and even added extra features for the client for free. He learned more from that one mistake than from a dozen successes. He understood that value creation was the real secret. It wasn't about hoarding money. It was about creating something that people needed. He started thinking, how can I provide more value? How can I solve bigger problems? This way of thinking attracted more clients. His small side business started to grow. Meanwhile, Ethan got a small raise at the factory. He was thrilled. He immediately started calculating how many years it would take to save up for a down payment on a small house. He kept his money in a low-interest savings account, too afraid of the stock market, which he called a rich person's casino. He saw every investment as a gamble, a potential loss. His fear of losing money was so strong that it paralyzed him from ever making his money work for him. His world remained small, defined by the walls of the factory and the balance in his savings account. Leo decided to take a calculated risk. He took a portion of his earnings from his web design business and invested it. Not randomly, but after weeks of research. He invested in companies he understood and believed in. He told Ethan, "I'm not just buying stocks, I'm buying a small piece of a great business. I'm letting my money go to work with smart people." Ethan just shook his head, saying, "You're going to lose it all." And for a while, it looked like Ethan might be right. The market dipped, and Leo's portfolio lost value. He felt that knot of fear in his stomach, the same fear that gripped Ethan every day. But then he remembered his mindset. He hadn't invested money he couldn't afford to lose, and he believed in the long-term value of his choices. He didn't panic and sell. He held on. He focused on growing his business, on creating more value. Years went by. Leo's web design business flourished. He hired his first employee, then another. He wasn't just a designer anymore. He was a business owner, a problem solver. His investments, which had weathered the storm, began to grow significantly. He wasn't just earning money from his labor anymore. His money was now earning money for him. He had created multiple streams of income. One day, Leo drove back to his hometown in a comfortable, new car. Not flashy, but a symbol of his journey. He met Ethan at their old favorite diner. Ethan looked tired. The factory had downsized, and he was constantly worried about his job security. "You're so lucky, Leo," Ethan said, stirring his coffee. "You must have just gotten a lucky break." Leo smiled gently. "It wasn't luck, my friend. It was a choice. Every single day. You chose to see lack. I chose to see opportunity. You focused on saving pennies. I focused on creating value. You were afraid of losing money. I was afraid of losing opportunities. We both wanted to be rich, but you thought about being rich in terms of what you could have. I thought about it in terms of who I could become." He continued. "The money, the car, this is all just a result. The real wealth was built right here," Leo said, tapping his temple. "It was the decision to learn, to grow, to see problems as puzzles, and to believe that I could create my own economy instead of just being a cog in someone else's." The story of Leo and Ethan isn't about one person being better than the other. It's a story about two mindsets: the scarcity mindset, which keeps you trapped, and the abundance mindset, which sets you free. Wealth doesn't magically appear, it's cultivated. It starts with the thoughts you entertain, the beliefs you hold, and the actions you take because of them. Think like a creator, not just a consumer. Think like a learner, not just a laborer. Think rich in your mind first, and you'll create the foundation upon which real, lasting wealth can be built. What are you building with your thoughts today? Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content to help you build your own life of abundance. We'll see you in the next video.